Hey everybody! Good evening, good evening! Hey, how's everybody doing? Hey, yeah, thank you up there in the balcony. Yeah, hey, thanks everybody. Please be seated. Thank you for your thunderous applause there. Uh, well, let's say thank you to Jimmy Reed and the band for playing us on tonight. Thank you guys. We're going to have to get on with the show here. So, yeah, okay. Thank you, Jimmy Reed and the band. Hey, thank you. Hey, folks, as always, I'm George Briscoe, and this is the Boredom Show. Why? Because I'm bored. Hey, as always, my faithful sidekick is here, an ape named Ape, and the Scots Guard, defending my backside, and baby Nessie right next to him there. Yay! And somewhere in the background, hey, it's Pope Francis. Hey, how you doing there? Alrighty. Man, you notice I'm dressed a little more casually than yesterday, because yesterday we had a very special guest, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, because if it had been Queen Elizabeth I, that would have been really spooky. But anyhow, it was wonderful. I was all dressed up with my bowler hat and a tie, and had a wonderful interview with the Queen yesterday. And speaking of yesterday was a big day in New Orleans with everybody's sequestering over there and all the restaurants in the French Quarter being closed up. They got a problem. All the rats that live down there are used to living off of the scraps of food left over from the restaurants that are thrown out at the curb in the bags and such, waiting for trash pickup. They don't have that food source, so apparently thousands of rats have spread out onto the streets of New Orleans. It's almost like they had a parade going down Bourbon Street yesterday. They were apparently even calling it Mardi Rodent or Rat Tuesday. I'll pause while you finish laughing. Anyhow, today I went out to pick myself something up for dinner and got home right around sunset, and I saw my neighborhood possum out in the backyard, and I tried to get a picture of him, but I couldn't. And he's practicing safe social distancing, as we all should be doing right now. And he just disappeared. I don't know what happened to him. But I got up on my deck and I looked over the fence, and my neighbor's dog that they got a couple months ago, big old yellow dog, he wasn't barking at me. I saw why. Poor fella. He was wearing the cone of shame. Oh, poor boy. Every guy, even if you're the guy that orders it to be done, every guy's got a feel for a poor dog going through that. He didn't bark at me at all. It's like he lost his will, along with a couple of other things. Anyhow, here I am in self-isolation, trying to entertain myself, and hopefully a handful of you along the way, even if it's like watching a train wreck. It gives you something to do. We got to talk about self-isolation. It can be tough at times, but, like the expressions say, you got to suck it up. As the Marines say, embrace the suck. Speaking of which, we got a special guest tonight. His name is Willie Longfellow. He's apparently a young man from Nantucket, Massachusetts. He was already famed as a master of self-isolation before this whole virus pandemic started. They say that he rarely left the house for some reason. I don't know. Anyhow, we're going to try to give him a call and ask him for some tips on, self-isolation, what that lifestyle is like, and what you can do to keep yourself entertained. So we're going to make a phone call here. Hey, let me go to the old landline. Yep, here we are. Yep. Hey, kids, this is what they used to call a telephone. Yeah, you see, you do this to hang up and you talk in here, or no, you talk in here and you listen here. If you do it the other way around, it's a comedy bit on an old like Dick Van Dyke sitcom from the 60s or something. But anyhow, I'm going to use the old rotary dial here to call up Willie Longfellow in Nantucket Island, Massachusetts, and we're going to get some tips from him here. Okay, one. And all the way around to, oh, I can't say the number. Ah, there we go, okay. And, all right, it's ringing. It's ringing, all right, yeah. Come on, pick up the phone, Willie. Willie Longfellow, Nantucket, Massachusetts. Waiting for him to pick up the phone here. He said he'd be there at home this time of night for a live interview. Come on, Willie. Make sure, yeah, we still got a connection. It's still ringing. Oh, well, we'll have to try him another time then. Okay, Willie? Well, nope, nobody there, still ringing. Okay. Well, couldn't get through to Willie Longfellow in Nantucket. I guess the guy was busy doing something. I don't know. Must be tied up, in knots or something. I don't know. But anyhow, we'll try Willie in Nantucket another time. But before we get going this evening, got to thank our sponsor. As Pope Francis said a while back, in Scotland, Scotch is the equivalent of holy water. So we are brought to you by Scotch. Yes, Scotch. That's about to wrap up the show here tonight, folks. Want to say thanks once again to the band, and to an ape named Ape, and all the guys in the back row here, and all of you for tuning in. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, which we just got going. This was episode number 3 now, April 22nd. And we're running out of time, so I want to extend my apologies to Neil deGrasse Tyson. We didn't have time to get to him tonight, but as he would say, keep looking up and you'll trip over something eventually. So anyhow, thank you. Good night, everybody. Wash your hands.